Hey war fans, thanks for joining me for this review of Train to Busan. So with this one, it was really hard to decide whether I wanted to write the review or do this video review. But since this movie has been out for a while and I know lots of people have seen it, I almost feel like I'm the last person to have seen this movie. I decided I would just go ahead and do a video review. And I know everybody raves about this movie. Some people say that it's the best zombie movie that they've seen. Some have said it's in their top 5, top 3. Certainly of the last decade. It was a lot of people's top movie, if not top zombie movie. So I was really curious and was really looking forward to checking this out and seeing what all the hype was. And I'm not going to hold anything back and just say it met the hype. I'm so glad that it met the hype. If I would have watched this and it would have been bad, I would have really been upset, especially from the people that I've heard say that this was an excellent movie. I've really been like, what the hell are you guys talking about? But I trusted them, and the movie makes it easy. I don't see how you can watch this and really complain and say, oh, that movie sucked. If zombies aren't your thing, or you want to nitpick here and there about certain things, yeah, but to say it was a bad movie, I find that hard. I would find that hard to believe. So again, before getting too further into this, description is down below, and as far as what IMDb describes it as is, while a zombie virus breaks out in South Korea, passengers struggle to survive on a train from Seoul to Busan. And again, I'm not sure I'm going to spoil anything since so many people have seen this, and again, one of the last people to have seen this movie. Really wish I had seen it earlier since it was such a good movie. But basically, starts focusing on a father and his young daughter, and her parents are separated, and he's struggling as a father. She's struggling. She wants to see her mom again, and not it seemed like she didn't feel she was getting the attention that she thought she wanted from her father. He's a hard worker, and you see him there start off at his job working, and you can see that he seems like he's a very busy man, and also maybe not the best profession, or some of the people in the movie don't like what he does for a living, and that's down the road in the movie. But he comes home, and I guess he kind of screws up her birthday surprise. She already has what he gets, and that doesn't help the situation. She's talking to her mom, and she really wants to spend her birthday with her mom, so she says she can go on the train alone, but the father says, no, I'm gonna go with you. And so they go to get on the train, and as they're driving there, there's a few moments of chaos in the background and so forth, and they don't really take that as a tip. They continue on and eventually end up on the train. And before getting any further than that, I should have mentioned in the beginning is this: the movie basically kicks off with something we don't really see too much. I don't see too much. Definitely don't see it on The Walking Dead, as far as I remember. But we see a deer, and the deer has been recently killed, and it basically becomes a zombie, and they don't go too much further in it, but that alone in itself was crazy, and I was really hoping at some other point in the movie where we'd see another animal. I know it was hard on the train, but that was unique to see. And again, not like on The Walking Dead, you see the animals there and the horses and whatever, and when we see them, they're usually there because either the people are using them and then they get killed, or the people are just using them. But I don't remember seeing any of them become a zombie. And I know there's going to be a sequel to this movie, and it would be excellent to see animals that are zombies. I think that might be one avenue. I know I've mentioned it in other places that one of the things with zombie movies is it's hard to we've been in such a big era of zombies over the last several years, that it's hard to introduce something new, and I think that one of the reasons this movie is so excellent is just that it attempts to give you something new, and that's really what you got to do with zombie movies these days, is give the audience something they haven't seen, because if it's just zombies just killing people, we've seen it all already, or we've seen a lot already, and so going the animal aspect would be really cool. But let's go back to the train. Get back on point here and on track. So they're on the train, and an individual gets on the train. Actually, two individuals get on the train, and you think one is both of them are going to be the zombies, but it turns out one is just maybe mentally disturbed, if you want to call it, or might be a homeless man, I don't know, or he kind of knows what is happening, or thinks he knows what's going to happen, and they play it off well from the beginning, that you think, oh, well, this is where it begins, but it doesn't. There's someone else on the train, and when they kind of get close to them, okay, you know that they're infected, and this is not going to go good with them, so virus starts spreading, as you would expect. That person bites one person, bites another person, and then it's just all out chaos breaks out. Of course, the train is already moving. No one's sitting still, and talk about putting people in a confined space and not being able to do anything about it. Another excellent idea to kind of contain the people and put them in a tough situation. And one of the things about the movie that's also good is that because of this setting, and because of them putting them in the tight spaces, is you have to put the characters in a position where they have to make the best use of what they have, and in the space, and going train to train and cart to cart, and basically there's just a door, holding each cart from keeping yourself from the zombies, and that plays a big part of it. There's a lot of holding the door closed, and creativity there of when the zombies can see you and when they can't. They kind of touch on that a little bit, so you do get some aspect of these zombies in that respect, as far as can they see, can they not see, and how they're going about attacking you. Probably the best thing about these zombies is how they move. They do such freaky movements, and after I watched this, I'm like, wow, I would love a chance to go behind the scenes of the movie and see how exactly they did that. To me, it seems like they just sped up the tape. Maybe they did. I would love to see that confirmed in certain instances when the zombies are moving, and definitely had some freaky movements with them, and maybe approach it where the zombies were kind of almost exorcism-like movements, as opposed to just slow and dragging themselves toward you. This is definitely another zombie movie where the zombies are fast. This is not slow moving Walking Dead zombies. These are more of the 28 Days style zombies, and if you want to call those zombies, that's a different discussion. But these are fast moving zombies, and I'm glad they also went that route, because it just makes it that much more intense and that much more crazy. especially in the tight space. And also, what's good is that chaos is breaking down not only inside the train, but outside the train as well. You're not really seeing it as much, but as the train is going through the cities, those cities are falling and having their own problems. And there's a couple of times where they try to get off the train, and basically it's no hope. They end up back on the train for one reason or not. And obviously, I'm loving all the kills and the zombies and watching them move and the chaos that they're creating, and all of that is wonderful. And seeing, finding out a little bit about the zombies as we go. But they also do a very good job of making it also about family. You never forget, the struggle of the father and the little girl. We also meet another couple who is the wife is pregnant, and that's an entertainment in itself because she's also part of fighting off the zombies, and you see her as a pregnant lady having to deal with that and having to deal with the zombies, and obviously her partner becomes in danger a lot as he's basically taking on the zombies as well to protect her. And there's an interesting dynamic because he's doing it as a family, the other father doing it as a family, but the two fathers kind of bump heads and kind of get off to a bad start, but ultimately end up teaming up, obviously for the good, because if you're going to be mad at each other, you're not going to survive that situation. So there's a lot of that family dynamic, and having to put it on the line to save the little girl and to save the soon to be mother and soon to be baby. So there's that dynamic in it. So it's not just throw zombies onto the train and have them kill everybody. Those are obviously the fun parts of the movie, but there is that other character dynamic. And I know it's a lot subtitle reading and so forth as far as that, but you I think you can kind of, even if you weren't totally reading along, you can kind of see that a bond and a little bit of the struggle at the beginning, and then the bond and then the pain and so forth as people are dying around them, and then ultimately I don't know, spoiler alert about what happens to these two small families. And then they also have a guy in there who's just an ass, and you're just waiting for him to die, and you want him to die. And I like when movies can do that because it's fun. A lot of people are always worried about can you root for the good guys? Have they given you enough character there to root for the good guys? I've never been totally interested in that. I mean, as long as they're just not boring character that you just like, oh man, why is this guy on here? Is it or maybe it's just the bad acting and the acting is just killing it, and you're just like, no. But they have a character in here that he's just an ass. He's looking out for himself, and you just are waiting, and it had me waiting. I was just like, what, I've had it with this guy needs to die. Hopefully he has a horrific death. I say they let him off kind of easy. I guess they just I wish he had a more horrific death. I think they let it off easy, and they kind of maybe showed you why he was such an ass the entire time, as opposed to just making him the ass and just annihilating him from the picture. So this movie's again just not just about the zombies. It also has plenty of the family and drama story behind it. But again, it is a blast. I would, I'd have to think about it longer as far as where it falls on my list of horror movies, zombie horror movies, and where it falls. And definitely, I would say, since I'm doing this a little later, definitely one of the better movies of the decade, 2010 to 2019. Definitely one of the better zombie movies I've seen, especially recently. Another one that comes to mind is One Cut of the Dead, but that's a horror comedy, and it's done in a different way, and excellent in its own right. Definitely probably counts as a zombie movie, but again, it's not really about the zombies and not the typical zombie thing. It's not all about the killing and stuff. It's more about the film and what goes on. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen that movie. Definitely recommend that one as well. And but I'll have to think about it longer as far as where that falls on the scale of zombie horror movies. But definitely, as far as foreign zombie horror movies, it's probably my top five immediately. But where it falls overall, I'll have to think about that over time and think back. Again, I kind of caught somebody comparing, saying that it was much better than 28 Days Later. I'm a big fan of the 28 Days and 28 Days Later. I have to think about that. I'm not sure. And I don't know if I'm ready to battle any of you who want to argue that, but maybe I'd have to see this one again, because I've seen those other two a million times. But definitely, I'm gonna jump on board and with everybody else out there and say you got to see this. If you haven't seen it, I again feel like I'm one of the last people to have seen it. But if you haven't, watch it if you can. I caught it on Netflix, so definitely check it out. With that, I think I'm going to give this, I don't think I can give this 5 pools of blood. I'm not sure why. If you're going to ask me, why didn't you just give it 5 pools of blood? I don't know. I don't know what would hold me back from that. Because it has a lot of what I like. I don't know. I'm not really sure why I wouldn't. So with that, I guess I'll just go ahead and get 4.5 pools of blood. Yeah, it might be a cop out, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll think about it some more again. I just saw it. Maybe if I watch it again, I'll change my mind and give it the full 5 pools of blood. I reserve that for movies that I don't know. I kind of just jump off. Maybe I'm not giving it 5 pools of blood because I was already tipped off that this was a good movie, so I was kind of expecting it, so it didn't raise too many expectations after I saw it. It kind of was what I was expecting, whereas usually I give 5 pools of blood when I haven't heard too much about a film, and then I go and I watch it and I'm just blown away, and it far goes past my expectations. So maybe that's why, but not much of a difference there. Again and again, see the movie. It's terrific. I know some people are tired of zombies, but if you're just looking to squeeze in a zombie movie, squeeze this one in. Subtitles regardless, don't even worry about it. Just enjoy the craziness, and you can basically watch and kind of get a gist of what's going on. So yes, 4.5 pools of blood, and maybe I'll watch it again and see if that changes my mind. But until next time, I hope you enjoyed. Again, more information about the film is down below, and you can catch written reviews at Horror's Gory Reviews, and obviously more video reviews on this channel. And also don't forget to join me for Talk Horror with Horo. I'm probably bored of hearing me talk, but the reviews are myself, but I promise that I will have guests on that show soon. So thanks for joining me again, and until next time, horror fans.